Hello and welcome to this second installment of my trading diary, where I'd like to explain a little bit how the development of my goal of implementing a totally automated, systematic trading strategy based on several years of trading, learning, books, backtesting manually, as well as quantified backtests. Yeah, just figuring out what kind of trades I want to be in and what kind of strategy I want to trade actually. And as I mentioned last time, and I would also encourage you, if anything is unclear in this video, I would encourage you to go back to the first installment, so the January and the February video. If you still have any questions, just drop me a comment and I try to respond as soon as I get to it, or maybe in one of the next videos. Yeah, as I said at the end of my last video, what would be cool is, so now that I have, so January and February, I spent my time basically implementing the basic strategy just to, create something that actually works now. And I was very happy to see that I came pretty far, and as I said, the basic strategy works. But as I plan to trade this as a portfolio, and because I want to trade this as a portfolio, I probably want to make rebalances every once in a while. And that just means I have to figure out, okay, how do I actually calculate my position sizes? How do we think about risk? And as I mentioned last time, the greatest thing for me would be to just get a thing that spits out my buy sell orders that I would have to, type into Bybit, Binance, Uniswap, what have you, and just get it done quickly, because I don't intend to do too many trades. Maybe once a week, maybe once a month. This saves on trading fees, but it also saves on taxes. Those are my main motivations for not trading like, I don't know, like a day trader. I'm more interested in trading like a swing trading. That kind of trading style is more what I'm aiming at. And so I'm again happy to say I finished my monthly goal early this time. Today is the 23rd of March, the 23rd of 2024. Yeah, I got my table ready, and in this video we are going to go through the code. I'm trying to explain what I've done, where I've arrived at, and also maybe mention one or the other problem that I see now. And at the end, we're probably going to talk about what I'm going to build next, or what the next goals are. So let's just go through it. Calculating position sizes and rebalancing. You can see on the left-hand side that I have several CSV files that I just download of Binance with a helper application that just basically downloads, that just gives me the opportunity to give a start date, an end date, and then it just downloads the daily closes to a CSV file. I needed that because I didn't know how to work with live data, and I wanted to have something that works offline, so because it's just faster, let's hide this for a second. So I'm working with NumPy, Pandas TA, and I was contemplating whether to implement my own API calls to Bybit, but I talked with ChatGPT through this, and it asked me, hey, what are usually when I have this kind of question and I don't want to post on, I don't know, Stack Overflow, then I just talk with ChatGPT and I ask it to ask me a couple of questions that would help me to arrive at a better conclusion. And basically what I figured out was that CCXT, while it is a little oversized for what I'm doing, it is also the best thing that I can do right now, because implementing all the API calls would have been a major pain, and I was really surprised just implementing or importing CCXT. You can see it later. So let's just quickly go through the next function here. So, or let's just execute this so we can actually see that the code is actually working. Here I have a little like a reminder for myself how to work with indicators, because I found that the documentation of Pandas TA isn't that helpful most of the time. And so, but there are a couple of helper features in there. Yeah, so I actually don't need that here. That is really interesting. So I think I had this here because I was using help df.ta before. Now I remember. Okay, so here we can say Pandas. This should say Pandas TA, I believe. Nope. Okay. Let's just not use that. So you can get a list of all the indicators by using this feature here. Just call indicators on your Pandas TA library. I don't know why this is not working, because it should, because I had it before as import Pandas TA as just TA. And if you do that, it works, or it used to work. But as you can see, if I execute this, we get the help on Keltner channels. If you want to have help on your Bollinger Bands, it's just B bands. So, and as you can see, you get a nice documentation on the bottom about whatever indicator you'll need help with. And I found that really helpful when I needed it for figuring out how to work with the Keltner channel, because it creates a mid band and obviously an upper and a lower band. Also, yeah, let's remove that. Feel free to stop the video at any point. Also, you can take my API keys, because when I'm publishing this video, obviously these two API keys will be deleted. And as you can see here, it's actually pretty straightforward. You just bind your exchange, which is Bybit in my case, to a variable. Essentially, you give it an API key, and then whenever you want to do something with Bybit, you just write a exchange dot, I don't know, fetch balance, for example, and it does everything for you. It gives you a nice JSON formatted object to work with. Yeah, so the sandbox mode is true in my case. Yeah, but we actually don't need it because we don't actually execute any trades. So this, and on the bottom here we can see my main dictionary I'm working with. I'm working with 10 symbols, which you can see here, and the actual traded or tradable symbol are the leveraged ones, and that is why I've chosen these ones. And when I execute this, nothing happens, but we initialize the exchange object, and we create our portfolio symbols object as well. All right, next one is we query the balance that I have currently, which is just balance fetch balance. So we just execute fetch balance on the exchange, and then we iterate through every coin that we get and basically save everything to the portfolio symbols back at the end here. And I'm also creating a new account section, which cost me a little bit of pain in the end, but I think it's necessary here, or it was necessary for me. And I just assign the total equity on that particular account to that variable, basically. And when I execute that, it takes a while because it needs to query the exchange, and then it gives you back the portfolio coin, which we don't need anymore. And then you can see we get an updated dictionary for Bitcoin, for example, with the actual balance, and I'm writing the actual USD value because it's a little bit easier to calculate later on. Then we need to calculate the time 1 year ago, and I'm using datetime for that. We need that because the data frame, or the main data frame that I'm working with, I'm just fetching 1 year of data because that is enough to calculate all the EMA crosses ever, or at least for my case. If I would trade like the weekly, or I don't know, maybe the 3-day or so, I would probably go to 2 or 3 years or so. But as I said, 1 year for 12-hour EMA crosses is completely fine for my needs. We assign various values. Let's just execute that. Then I have another, so you can see I've also have encapsulated this in functions, so it's easier to execute this on all the different portfolio coins, obviously. Then I'm instantiating all the indicators. You can see I have my 3 EMAs here, which I need, the Keltner channels, and later I merge the data frames, and I'm trying to get the data frame that I'm not using anymore garbage collected. Let's just execute that, and you can see they also executed. I need the Sharpe ratio, but I'm not using the 1 year to execute to calculate the Sharpe. I'm actually using just 100 bars, which you can see here at the top. I'm basically still using the default. I'm not fully convinced yet that 365 days works better for crypto. It works for my case until I've proven otherwise. Until I'm proven otherwise, and I will probably get back to that at the end of the video. And as you can see, this also executes. Then we need to get the signal status, which is basically just figuring out if the EMA is actually crossed to the upside. And then if they don't, I leave my, so this is not a data frame anymore at this point. I just let calculate the true value for that. And here is where I calculate the distance of the close to the lower band, which I'm using as my stop loss essentially, and I'm writing that at the end to the dictionary as well later on. And as you can see, this also executes. Then I need to scale the Sharpe for 2 large values, which I took from Stack Overflow. And please feel free to go to this address to look it up. The formula here is basically this monstrosity here. Then we need to actually calculate the position size, which is calculated from the risk which we have calculated, I believe here. I think so, yeah. So this is the ATR, no, this is the ATR percent. Oh no, the risk is in dollar value. So in dollar, 10 bucks. Should read my own documentation, shouldn't I? So the risk is 10 bucks divided by the ATR in percent. So this is my stop loss times 100, and then I apply my scale factor. And at the end, I just need to update my, I have a function to basically just go through all of these functions. No, this is not this. This writes all the values that I've calculated to the dictionary, if necessary. And this actually goes through all the coins. And at the end, I'm printing the actual, so the updated for portfolio symbols. And this queries now the portfolio balance that I have on there, the coins that I have on there, and it gives back a much more complicated and longer. Let's just go through one section. So this is the Bitcoin section again, which you probably remember from a couple of minutes ago. As you can see, I have all the values in there that I need. And last but not least, I use all of the values that I've calculated. I need to make exceptions for the total equity to not process that, because otherwise I will get an error. I'm now calculating this with an equity size of 1,700, but I could also use the equity that I actually have in my portfolio. And if I do that, I have also a risk appetite factor applied here. And as I said, feel free to stop the video at any point. And as you can see at the end, I get a nicely formatted table of my actual buy and sell orders. At the moment, I would have to sell mostly, but when I increase the portfolio size, you can see that I would have to buy a bunch of things. But obviously, this is also dependent on the risk factor applied, or my risk appetite, as I call it. Let's just go through to one the full scale. And if I trade with, I believe I have only 300 bucks in there. Let's see. No, it's just 100 bucks. I have 100 bucks in there, and this would lead to mostly selling. And you can see that some EMAs have already turned negative. Yep, this was my monthly goal. Was a lot of work. I had a lot of fun writing it though. But now I'm at a point where I realize that I absolutely need backtesting, because at the moment I have these buy-sell orders here, and I'm assuming that whatever I'm calculating here is beneficial to my profit. But I haven't actually proven that this is the case. So that leads me neatly into the problem of needing a backtest that now actually works, which I'm going to implement next. I haven't actually thought about it, which is probably another reason why I need a little bit of time. Yeah, feel free to drop me any questions below. See you until next time. Bye.